Just arrived in Sheringham on the North Norfolk coast, and I'm going to do a walk which is 3 hills: Beeston Hill, Beacon Hill and then Stone Hill. And the reason doing this in North Norfolk is because I have a plan to climb the highest hill or peak in each of the 15 national parks in the UK. One of those national parks is the Norfolk Broads, and if you're familiar with the geography of Norfolk and the Norfolk Broads in particular, you'll know that it's absolutely flat as a pancake, and some of it's probably beneath sea level, so there are no peaks. So taking the county of Norfolk, we've discovered that the highest peak is on the North Norfolk coast near Cromer, just outside Sheringham, and it's called Beacon Hill. So we're going to do that. It's only about 105 metres, but apparently there's a nice walk along coastal path from Sheringham to Cromer, up onto the hills and then back again. This is the North Norfolk coastal path, just the beginning of this part of it in Sheringham. That's the beach huts. We're going to walk a bit further along with the sea to our left as far as we can get, and then we'll turn south, go inland and go up the hills and see what sort of views we can get. Okay, there's our little trail up to Beeston Hill. It's very sheltered up here. It was a bit windy down by the seas, but nice and sheltered. I can't remember how big this hill is, but I'll check it out and get a graphic up. As I say, this isn't the largest one today. The largest one's, or the highest, if you want to call it that, is Beacon Hill, and that'll be 105 metres. To put that into perspective, Scafell Pike in the Lake District is just short of 1,000 metres, so it really is not it's not a very high hill, but apparently the views are pretty good, so we'll find out in a sec. Okay, first hill up, Beeston Hill, known locally as Beeston Bump, and we're just heading up this way, and that's the hill up there. It's like there's some steps here, it's quite steep. The view from there was a little bench back there just on the cliff top, and the view is really lovely back to Sheringham and back inland to the south. So hopefully we'll get a good one from top here. Oh, that's steep. Steep step. Nice and dry today. Bit more to go. Round the corner. Oh, I've got to go this way. There we go. Easier than the steps. Just show you back where we've come from. So that's the coastal path there, the brown path in the middle. Sheringham in the background. And that's looking south back into Norfolk. And this top hilltop here, Beeston Bump. Don't know if there's any marker on there to say that we're at the top or anything. Whether it's just oh yeah, here we go. There's a little trig point. That's a surprise. Didn't expect that. It's always nice to get a little trig point just to indicate that you're definitely in the right place. Customary trig point selfies as well. There we go. So there we are on the map. So East Anglia is the bit that sticks out, and right on the top of that, Beeston Hill, Sheringham. And if you go around the coast to the east, you've got Cromer, and then it starts to come down towards through Norfolk and Suffolk. And here's the trig point. We're just coming up to the end of the coastal path. We've got about, I don't know, about a kilometre left, and we're at West Runton Beach, and you've got a great view all the way around towards Cromer. If you just see the very end cliff there that's sticking out, I don't know if you can make it out, but you can just see Cromer Pier just sticking out from the right hand side there into the sea. And just discovered an interesting fact about West Runton Beach. In the 1990s they discovered a full skeleton of a woolly mammoth, and they've dug it up along with some other fossils, and there's a model of it back there, but unfortunately the shop place is closed for the season, otherwise we could have seen what it looks like. They have a model outside which is like a metal mock-up, so I'll put that on camera. I don't know. So we've left the coastal path now, and we've come south. We head along the main road for a little short walk, probably 100 yards or so, and we're now double back on ourselves onto this leafy sort of farmyard kind of trail, which will then bend round to the left into some forest and head up towards Beacon Hill. So it's a different set of views now for the next part of the walk. It's lovely and warm. You wouldn't believe it's 1st of October today, and it feels like the middle of summer. Crazy country, the weather in this country. You can never rely on it, and you can never predict it. heading south. I think we're about to pick up the path to Beacon Hill. Well, we're on the path to Beacon Hill, but the one that goes more uphill. It's a little bit flat at the minute. We've just come through a little bit of farm trail with a little bit of forest, a bit of a wooded area, and just through that open field area and heading back in. It's very variable, the terrain. One minute you're on like a gravelly path down a lane across a railway bridge, across the North Norfolk Railway, and then, excuse me while I'm talking, I'm looking down because it's a bit bumpy. Yeah, across the railway and then down another gravelly track and then through a farm and then through some hedgerows like this, a hedge tunnel, and yeah, it's starting to go up now. As I say, this hill's not, even though it's the biggest hill in Norfolk, or the highest hill in Norfolk, highest point in Norfolk, it's not particularly high. It's 103 I think, or 105, depending on what literature you look at, but it's, yeah, just over 100 meters. So I mean, it actually looks higher from what I've seen of it, because Norfolk's such a flat county that when you get up to any high point you can usually see everything. Not everything, but you can usually see quite a long way. So I'm looking forward to it. It's nice and shaded in here as well. It's very warm back there. It's a nice gentle gradient, easy on the legs. Let's pick it up again. We're at the top. I'll see you in a bit. So we're just crossing this little bit of farmland and then head into these woods. And I think just in the centre of the picture there, the radio tower or TV mast, mobile phone mast, is likely to be Beacon Hill. So we're almost there. Just another little wooded walk by the looks of it. Up to it. We're just in the wooded area, just heading up to Beacon Hill. We've just come across these really strange trees. You can see they're growing out the way, but then they're bending up and across and kind of back on themselves. There's the root there. This one goes up and round and back on itself and down the other side. That branch there is coming out as well. That's actually coming out of that big trunk. Really strange. Right, we're heading this way. The path's going up now. You can actually feel it. Earlier on I was wondering whether we were just going to stumble across the top of the hill without actually realising it, but it's noticeably, you know, you've got a gradient now. This is lovely to walk on. It's all spongy, nice and shaded. It's a nice wide path as well. Really enjoying this walk. It's been really variable. And some nice scenery along the coast. And there's some nice little lanes and wooded areas as you come inland. Kind of surprised. I wasn't really expecting much from it. But yeah, definitely enjoying it. Yeah, so in the end the radio tower wasn't the Beacon Hill. However, it's a very good landmark. So if you're heading to Beacon Hill from that direction that we've just come, look for the radio tower. When you get to it, pass it with your back to it. So turn right when you get to it and cross the main road, and then you head towards the Roman Camp Caravan Park, and you'll find this is it. This is Beacon Hill or Roman Camp. Now, there's no record of there ever being any Roman settlement around the hill. It's more likely it was used as a point with a fire beacon on it to navigate. And there's a story that says that some coaching in people came up with the name Roman Camp to try and boost tourism and try and encourage people to it. So there's no trig point, so I guess we'll just go and stand on the flag. And this is it, the highest point in Norfolk. Should have been the Norfolk Broads as the national park, but because there's no high point on the Broads, we've decided to do the highest point in Norfolk instead. And I have to say, despite its modest height, the walk up to it is really good. Because it's just the tail end of summer as well, everything's a bit overgrown, so there's not really a view out back to the sea, but you can. The light's really flat today, but that is actually the sea between the trees and the bracken there. I can try and zoom in. You can see a little red buoy floating. There we go. That gives you perspective. So there's the sea. Beacon Hill, Roman Camp. So heading away from Roman Camp, Beacon Hill now, and onto Stone Hill. And I don't know how we managed it, but we got to Beacon Hill. We did the little 360 there. Looked at the view, and then for some reason we went completely back on ourselves, back to the radar tower, and headed south instead of heading east. So the walking map of this route's going to show a lot of doubling back and a lot of blobs where we've come back on ourselves, but we're on the right track now, and we're heading to Stone Hill, so that's the third hill on today's walk, and apparently it's got the best views, so we should get a better view of the North Sea rather than just a little grey splash of colour through the trees that we got from Beacon Hill. There's a squirrel. Got a bog. We're on the way to Stone Hill.
Ow, ow, ow.
But we've got a bog and brambles to negotiate. Okay. This is didn't expect this. So it's a bit of a low point on the track where the park wardens come through, I think, near the tyre tracks, and obviously it's then filled with water and turned it into a big marsh. done. Heading back uphill now. That's good. I'm about 2 inches taller now. There we go. That's much drier path. We thought we might have been at Stone Hill just there. There was a little clearing. And we spoke to some locals and they said, I said, is this Stone Hill by any chance? They said, oh, we've never heard of it. We don't know. And I said, oh, sorry, I thought you might be local. And they said, yeah, we are, but we've not heard of Stone Hill. So there you go. It might be a little hidden gem in the North Norfolk woodland. We shall find out. Just trying to find our last hill, which is Stone Hill. We think it's the next clearing along, but we've got to this clearing and there's a great view of Beeston Hill and the North Sea. You see a nice view there with the container tanker going across the sea. Let's head back and head along to the next one and see if we can find Stone Hill. Okay, with a bit of luck, or trial and error, or educated guessing, or expert navigation, any of the above, we believe we are now at Stone Hill. Here we go. Here's the trig point, and there is the view back to Beeston Bump straight ahead of us. And you've got the coastal path along to the east there, to the right hand side of the picture, and you've got Sheringham back to the left. And on top of here there's a little sort of like compass thing which has got some landmarks on it. So what have we got here? So starting to the left we've got Skelding Hill, so I'll just try and show you there. So Skelding Hill is just the one that is sticking up. You see there's a big house in the centre, or a big building. Skelding Hill's just to the left of that. I'll just zoom in on that. There we go, that's Skelding Hill, right on the cliff top. And then we've got Beeston Regis Hills, which are straight ahead of us. We were on top of that earlier on when we started our walk. We've got All Saints Church at Beeston Regis, which I will just zoom in on again because it's a little bit hidden on this view. The light is very flat and grey today. It was lovely and sunny earlier on, but it's become a bit overcast. There we go, there's All Saints Church, Beeston Regis. Back this way there's another church, Holy Trinity, West Runton, which you can't quite see. And then off this way, I'll zoom out again, directly that way to the east is Beacon Hill, where we've just been. And the next part of our walk then is to basically head back down this path here and then back into Sheringham, and that will complete. That's the Norfolk 3 peaks complete. So Beeston Hill, Beacon Hill, Stone Hill.